All right, everyone, let's get started. My name is Art Aiello. I am the marketing manager for PlateSmart Technologies, and I want to welcome you all to our webinar, License Plate Recognition at Airports, Security and Beyond. Very grateful to have all of you with us today. Housekeeping item I would like to mention is we will be taking questions, but just in the interest of keeping things flowing smoothly, I'm going to keep everybody muted. If you have a question at any point in time during the webinar, please feel free to use the chat option and send your questions in through the group chat. We'll try to reserve 10 minutes at the end of the webinar to answer questions. And if we are not able to get to everyone's questions, we will work to answer them offline and follow up with all of you via email so that all of your questions are answered. I have with us two presenters today. Our president, Kathleen Chigos, is joining us, as well as our Chief Technology Officer, Webb Wang. And so to kick things off, I would like to turn it over to Kathleen.
Well, good afternoon, everybody, and thank you so much for joining us today. And I know that we have a lot of airport security personnel here, and I want to say thank you for protecting all of us that use the airports. And as we know that your primary role is to protect the perimeter of the airport, to protect the aircrafts, people, and airport property, as well as to prevent entry to the aircraft movement area by unauthorized persons or vehicles. I know that all of you take great responsibility when it comes to selecting and implementing perimeter security solutions to prevent perimeter breaches. As we all know, airports are not cookie cutter layouts, so there isn't a one size fits all when it comes to selecting an airport perimeter security solution. Today, I believe that there's walls and fences and cameras and personnel and technology that can be used in being a part of the ring of protection. And at PlateSmart, we believe that vehicle identification, license plate recognition can definitely be part of that layer of protection. We hope that today's informational webinar will educate you on the importance of vehicle identification LPR when selecting or adding to your ring of protection. So I'd like to touch a little bit about PlateSmart. PlateSmart was established in 2004. The company is over 16 years of vehicle identification LPR experience. We are the oldest vehicle identification LPR company. During the beginning stages of the company, much research and world travel went into reviewing the existing global companies that were in existence at that time. What we saw was like a definite pattern that all of the companies that had LPR required proprietary hardware. And this was not a direction or development that PlateSmart wanted to go down to. The company wanted to be sure that the vehicle identification LPR software could be used with existing cameras, that they could integrate with third-party solutions, that it could be flexible, robust, and affordable. PlateSmart has accomplished this mission and is always looking forward to where the market is going and what it is we can do as a company to continually provide cutting-edge solutions and analytics. But I'm going to turn this over to Webb so he can discuss several of our products that we currently have today that could assist in the airport security platform as well.
Good afternoon, this is Webb Wang. As Art mentioned, that I'm the CTO for the company responsible for technology and product development. For today's webinar, as Kathleen covers on the business side of the needs from airport or from the physical security as an industry, I will more focusing on the product side and to highlight those specific features from our solution, from our product that tailored to the particular needs of the airport and how do we address those. So as you see from the screen, we have right now offered two products along with services. One of them is called a PlateSmart Aries, which is our flagship product, which has been designed as an end-to-end turnkey solution. It manages from obtaining the videos from camera and pump that through our AI recognition engine and get the vehicle metadata coming out of the video and put them into a database-driven platform for management, for monitoring, and then pump through a whole slew of big data-oriented data analytics so that we can get further intels from this massive amount of data, and so that, to benefit our end user. So it is a fairly complete enterprise-grade end-to-end solution. It's called Aries. The other one is called Powered by PlateSmart, is a continuation of our business practice. That is, we always want to be a part of the ecosystem, in this case, of physical security. There's VMS solutions out there. There's a PSIM solution out there. There's other solutions that tailor to maybe to the parking industries, whatnot. Whenever they have a need for vehicle understanding, that's what this product come in. It's called a Powered by PlateSmart. And it's a very neat, compact solution, software solution that takes care of the videos and sends out the vehicle metadata on it where the API call. So that's another product that we offered about several months ago that we have seen very strong and warm welcome from the industry. So those are the two products. They carry different feature sets that will handle different needs that I'll make sure to cover those as we go through this presentation.
Okay. As you can see, PlateSmart has a global technology footprint. We are deployed throughout the world, and we are growing on a daily basis. We work with a lot of our global partners to provide a great vehicle identification ALPR system to them. As we mentioned in the earlier slides, one of the key factors with PlateSmart is that we develop the software to integrate with the VMS solutions, and we've got some great partnerships with the VMSs. Currently, our relationships with the market leader VMS companies are Milestone, Exact, Vigilon, Verint, just to name a few. And it's real easy, especially if there's a big business case and maybe there is an airport or an organization that has another VMS that maybe we haven't done the integration with. Being that we are built on an open platform, it's very easy for us to complete that integration. As Webb had mentioned with our new product, the Powered by PlateSmart, we are seeing the need for raw data for third-party security solutions. That's all they need is the plates raw data, and they're going to integrate it into their visitor management systems, their ticketing systems, access control systems, marketing systems, just to name a few. And we did that, again, in our development process. We thought about that. How can we get this out there? Because we believe that having a license plate recognition solution is paramount to when it comes to security, when it comes to integrations with other third-party solutions. Anywhere there's a camera, there's a need to know of who's coming on to the perimeter. That's where we can provide that information. When we discussed earlier also that we do not require proprietary hardware, we've established relationships with all of the top IP camera manufacturers, and that allows organizations that when they're planning the budget, where they can allocate their funding. If they just purchased cameras a year or two ago, they know that if they're going to implement a PlateSmart solution, that they're not going to have to spend $2,000 to $10,000 for an LPR camera, since we can use strictly IP cameras, and we do phenomenally well with that as well. So it helps in the budgeting process, knowing that pretty much that PlateSmart can work on your existing infrastructure and your solutions that you currently have deployed. As we dive into the PlateSmart technology, please note that the vehicle identification incorporated as a layer of protection for airport security is going to assist you in deterring stopping intrusions before it happens. It's also going to allow you to delay in slowing down that intrusion, meaning that if a car is pulling up to a gate and that car is suspicious, in real time, you can send alerts to your law enforcement that is on the property, or if you have a relationship with your law enforcement outside the property, they too can get alerted saying, we need you to come and need you to respond, and that can happen in real time. Vehicle identification can also deny access to the intruder. So if they're at a choke point or access control system, automatically the technology can respond and saying, okay, we are not going to allow you to come through. You are not on our approved list. You are not, you're a suspicious car. And then you can get your security personnel to come out and also take a look and see why this vehicle is on the property, as you know that that car should not be there. We can also, our technology allows you to be responsive, meaning that it can provide real-time situational awareness data to responders. So all vital points when looking to add to your ring of protection, right? So in the sense of you could be in a command center and automatically you are getting alerts either on email, text message, and then you can go ahead and push those alerts out to the responders that you want that are in that certain location that can respond quickly.
Kathleen, one thing I want to add while we're on this slide, if you look at this is a very typical deployment of our product, Aries. As you see, we have a server box there. This is one of the deployment cases that is a data center driven. So if you have a well-connected airport network that reach all the way to the cameras that's mounted on the gantry over, let's say, fiber connections, then you could do all of the processing, video processing, analytics, everything happening from a back-end type of installation, as illustrated on this slide. So in that case, the camera mounted out there, again, the very conventional CCTV type of camera, that the video gets pulled through your fiber network connections and it terminated at the back-end box. And then our software come in to analyze them. But once those data becomes available, that's what the middle listed software components come in to take care of different part of the functionality. And those are the command centers, which is pretty much give you the real-time situational awareness of what's going on the perimeter or on airport as a whole. And reporting center, which gave you a gateway to do a lot of the comprehensive, in-depth data analysis, data mining of that. And viewer, that's another one that is very thin piece of software that can be installed onto people's laptop so that they don't need to be trapped to the desk, so to speak, to monitor the situation, to be aware of that, what's going on. They can be on the move, but they're not detached from the system. So I want to echo back to what Kathleen touched on earlier. Security solution, most and foremost important one is the real-time awareness. And through the solution, we can deliver that real-time. And typically it takes us anywhere 100 to analyze that video to come up with a result, and that take that result, run through all the registered hot lists, whether it's a local hot list or a federal hot list, and give you that intel. So you're talking about a split of a second that you will have that you can act on. That real-time, this is very important. Now, what's equally important from there is collaboration and information sharing. Whether the airport has an on-site police force or not, we have a solution that can bring those in. Typically police entities or agencies has a special connection to different type of furloughs, whether they are physical, or they are federal issued furloughs or state issued furloughs. So regardless of the situation, whether you have on-site police force or not, we have solution can bridge the two so that that information about the vehicle can run through everywhere that is, available for you so that you can get the maximum intel about what's going on. So that's something I just want to cover. Back to you, Kathleen.
Exactly. And as we look at the hot list, the NCIC, and we're using Florida because, of course, we're located in Florida, but also the Homeland Security terrorist hot list. I know every airport is furnished with that type of list. So what you could do is just input that list into the PlateSmart system. And immediately when that car comes onto the property, you can go ahead and get responders out there to either apprehend, question, bring them in for investigation. So when we look at the traffic at an airport, we're looking at all types of vehicles that are coming on. We're looking at from private, commercial, buses, services, and delivery. And as you look at these vehicles, did you know that the vehicle can also be used as a weapon? And when we look at that, and stats today state that 75% of all crimes that occur start with a vehicle. So the importance of being able to know exactly what cars are coming, what roads they're coming on is very important. And with the cameras that are spread out throughout the airport, you will have the ability to see and be able to keep track of how many times certain vehicles are coming in or out of that. With many different access and exit points into an airport, it's really important for security to know what points are weak and where to deploy a security solution, such as a vehicle identification on the roads, so that your organization has a bird's eye view that would be able to let you know who's entering the perimeters. A lot of times is, why is a vehicle on a road that is prohibited? Why are they just sitting there? We're watching it on the cameras. Let's go ahead and send out security. Why in the last several days have we seen a white Toyota parked on an access roadway 5 days a week in the last 2 weeks? That's something we need to investigate immediately. And with PlateSmart, we allow you to have the ability to be able to be proactive when it comes to this investigation. So when you're implementing a vehicle, go ahead, what?
I'm sorry. Okay, so well, that is a need for perimeter security to totally understand vehicles, all vehicles if you can, all weather 24/7, and what you can do with it. You know, what do you know about it, and what you can do with it. So from a product and a solution standpoint, we're starting off the most fundamental. That is, if I have the video from the camera, what I can get out of it as far as for vehicle. So as you see that we are able to leverage our AI engine to extract from there's a vehicle to what's the make of the vehicle, what's the color of the vehicle, and we're working on very soon to release that. What is the type of the vehicle, and what is the orientation of the vehicle movement, whether it's moving towards me, towards the camera, leaving the camera, that tells you the traffic direction, and also you know, what is the state jurisdiction behind that license plate that is attached to that vehicle, and the last but not least is the license plate number itself. What is that? So all of those data points should be able to just come out of this PlateSmart software, and what we do with that is, which is packed into this Aries product, is that we do advanced analytics on top of it. Whether it's take that data to run through the hot list, or take a huge amount of data to figure out what kind of vehicle pattern that is, whether it's an abnormal pattern, like the previous slide mentioned, whether certain vehicles exhibiting a circling pattern, unnecessarily the normal pattern, so that they need to bring to the security personnel's attention. So those type of things, and we actually have a lot of those advanced analytics and packing to the product, and which is built on big data analysis. So from a solution standpoint, that's how we tackle that.
One thing I wanted to talk about is the being able to have the analytics within the PlateSmart system. Because when implementing a vehicle recognition combined with other third-party security solutions, security personnel has the ability to put in certain policies that Webb was talking about that will help them identify certain behavior, and circling is a perfect example. If we go back to one tragedy that occurred in March 2016, which was at Brussels, the airport attack, When they started investigating after the attack, they reviewed the video and they noticed that there was a car that circled the airport several days before the tragedy occurred. So adding circling policy within the PlateSmart system would alert immediately that several cars have been coming onto the airport, not dropping or picking up passengers, really strange behavior. And then that would alert them that they could need to possibly start investigating the suspicious vehicle. So, and actually, you can add in any type of policies and any type, how you want to prioritize your alerts within our system as well. When we talk about policies and we talk about the ability to have your own personal hot list as well, this is very important because we see a lot of organizations, and especially now we're living in a world that, you know, people's human behavior is just getting so erratic lately, especially if you have people that you've terminated, if you've got contractors that you don't want on the property, if you have known behaviors from people that you don't want ever back on the airport property, you have the ability to go ahead and input a hot list of the people that you want to be alerted immediately if that vehicle comes on to your property, and you can take the proper actions.
Yeah, a couple of things I want to add to the solution side, as far as the stay on top of the contractors, employees. Those a little bit towards the parking lot management, but the ALPR solution is a very good solution to have the security awareness over those part of the ALPR operation. So not only you can get alerted if there's a unauthorized contractor show up on at the front of the or at the front gate of the parking lot. Not only you can alert it, but also if they are authorized to get on the parking lot, get on the site to work on any project, that access control piece is also integrated with our solution. So that ALPR, so the contractors' vehicles or employees' vehicles can be pre-registered with our solution, so that can be the access can be granted right on the spot. So that's a little bit beyond what the security is, but more touching on the more efficient airport operation, which further slides will touch on the operation-related benefits from using ALPR as well. So I just want to add a little bit on that. Oh yeah, back to the security. Knowing, how do you know that? We say that our system can generate that intel in the split of a second. How do I notify our user? We can notify our user in a number of ways. One is the email, the other one text message, or the most direct is a screen pop. If there's a security personnel is being stationed at the command center or the data center to watch the screen, then they can do that. So, and each one of the alerts can be configured by the system to send to specific selected users. So some of the users may be more interested in receiving this type of alert versus the other type. We can do that. Or for each alert, it can be visually delivered in a way that to present a different nature of the alerts or different severity of the alert. We use the color codings, we use different form shapes of notifications, whatnot, to deliver that. So all in all, the idea is that now we have piece of information or intel that is real-time generated. We want to be able to engage our user at near real-time or as soon as possible. So that's the whole idea behind that.
So managing commercial vehicles with ALPR, we have had several airports that wanted to actually manage commercial vehicles with ALPR. And as we know, there's so many commercial vehicles that go in and out of the airports. And a lot of them do have to pay a fee in order to come on to the airport. So we can help with that database being able to put the plates, knowing that plate ABC123 is a registered Uber or a registered Lyft. We know that the taxi cab company from John's Taxi Cabs is a registered vendor, and they are allowed on the property. So you can keep track of, and you can build your list of your commercial vehicles that have registered and are paying the airport in order to come onto the airport. During our test, though, it was interesting because there was quite a bit of vehicles that the airport thought that were registered that weren't registered. I think the number was 200 unregistered taxi cab drivers that were on that property, and that kind of made that airport stand up and say, how much revenue are we losing here? With PlateSmart, we can assist in that, being able to identify how long the vehicles are in queue, see which vehicles have the fastest and slowest turn time, that if they belong in the registered list, that they're there. If they're not, either call Uber, Lyft, or the taxi company and make sure that they get registered. Being able to see how many times that taxi cab came on the property without paying also, and being able to maybe to go back and collect revenue off that as well. Not only is it, managing commercial vehicles with LPR, you can also manage traffic with LPR. And why is that important? Because one, you want to be able to do vehicle traffic counts, especially on holidays or the busiest days. You want to be able to see how many vehicles are in there. You want to be able to see where the employees are parking, if they're parking in the right designated areas, how many number of employees that you have. If you're planning on doing expansion, where is the heavy traffic coming from? What roads are seeing most of the traffic? Where can we expand the roadways? And LPR will help you do that and do a traffic analytics for you and be able to see where you need to build out maybe the next parking garage as well.
So yeah, a couple more things I want to add to that from a technology standpoint. One is that, Kathleen covered the ability to detect the Uber vehicles, Lyft vehicles, and taxis, whatnot. That's actually a part of our core competency because we always believe that these core technology needs to be developed, owned by ourselves, and we've been investing quite a bit on those. And this AI engine we build out and all the AI engineers on our staff, those are assets to allow us to continue to engage in a more of a non-standard recognition type of needs. So in this particular case, we actually working on recognizing Uber vehicles, Lyft vehicles, and taxi vehicles, and other type of commercial vehicles. Could be a hotel van from Marriott, things like that. So, and that will soon made available. So the airport can key off those type of information to not only streamline the airport parking experience or traffic experience. I mean, the whole goal is to get the passengers in and out real quick, but also, like Kathleen touched that, they already have an existing program that is, managing all of these commercial vehicles from a revenue standpoint. So be able to understand and know every commercial vehicle and their movements, their usage of the airports very precisely, that actually raised much more revenues to the airport, to be honest. So that solution provides a very direct way of addressing one of the airport's situation. And the traffic counts, that's exactly another one. Airport is always expanding. They have more and more passengers using the airport properties, and how do they allocate the resources or expansion in this way, not the other way? And traffic understanding is the key. So LPR technology can come in to provide that very, down to the precision, down to the digit understanding and the holistic understanding of the traffic at the airports.
Well, I'm going to jump in real quick and say that that is the extent of our presentation today. What I'd like to do, since we're done a little bit early, give folks an opportunity to go into that group chat and ask questions if you would like. So I'll give it another minute or so if you have questions that you would like to ask. Otherwise, certainly if you are interested in having a demo or wanting to have some more in-depth discussion about your specific needs, your specific use case, you can see the contact information on the screen. You can contact us at sales@platesmart.com or give us a call, and we would be happy to arrange a meeting or a demo for you to help speak to your specific needs. Okay, we have a question that came in. How is the performance of your system during adverse weather conditions? I'm not sure, Webb, if that's something that you want to address.
Yep, I'll take a whack at it. Our solution was designed to be 24/7 in all weather. So we actually essentially at the core of the technology is that it will go after the visible lights. So if the camera can provide us a visible view or clear view of the vehicle, then we are able to extract the information out of it. This is regardless of whether it's during the day or at night. Now, for the nighttime operation, typically the built-in infrared will have to use to provide that visibility. If not, the ambient light that should also do the job. So we come down to whether the human eye can see it, then we can extract it. So in a weather condition, whether it's snowing, whether it's a downpour raining, as long as in between we can manage to get that clear view of the vehicle, then we can do our job.
Okay, does anyone have any additional questions for us? Then I want to thank you all for having joined us today. We've been recording this webinar, so I will be able to send you a link to the presentation once it is ready. And again, if you have any questions for us about your specific use case, please feel free to reach us at sales@platesmart.com or via telephone at 813-749-0892. Thank you again for your participation, and we look forward to staying in touch.